Hello my friends, my name is Lindsey and I run the blog Books for Christian Girls, and welcome back to the little corner of the internet where I talk mainly about Christian fiction. Today we are discussing my anticipated releases. I have a beagle snoring at my feet. It is the end of the year. It is perfect time to talk about these anticipated books. As always, when I film these anticipated releases videos that I have been doing, this was my first video in 2017, was anticipated releases for 2017. In January of 2017. I've been on booktube almost 7 years. That is insane to think about. Happy anniversary in a week, basically. I think it was January 5th, I think is when I started my channel. But I am just super excited. I always love filming these videos, but as always, I'm not going to be reading the back cover or the blurb, description, whatever of you want to call it. I won't be doing that in this video. I never typically do. I just like to share with y'all what intrigues me about this book, and then I will have the Amazon page and Goodreads page linked down below in the description for y'all to check out. So I think that's it. I have these organized. I don't have too many books typically on this list. This one I think is 14 or 16 books, so a decent number in all reality. I try to only put books on this list that I am really excited about, that I'm going to make every effort to read around the release time. That's really it. So there's other books I'm interested in, but they're not a high priority. These are a higher priority for me, so let's get started. Hi my friends, Editing Lindsey popping in because, of course, after I filmed this, I found like 3 more books that I was excited for, that I had dates for and covers for, so I'm gonna just slide those on right on in here in this video. So thank you for letting me talk about them. So also coming out in January, on January 2nd, is Protecting Her Heart by Nancy Campbell Allen. And I recently read the first book. I'll put the cover here because The Matchmaker's Lonely Heart, I think it was. I think I gave it like 3.5, and I enjoyed it. But this third book is about her other cousin that really intrigued me. And the second book that I do own, which is why I read the first book, is about their other cousin that I'm really excited for. But, you know, I'm interested in this third one as well, so I'm going to put it on this list. I believe it is Clean Victorian Romance. And then another book I found that's releasing on January and somehow missed my list. I can't believe it. As of filming this little editing note, I have not seen the cover yet, but it is releasing on January 14th, and that is Drake Hall by Christina Baehr. The first book was the Wormwood Secrets? The Secrets of Wormwood? Oh, my brain just went blank, y'all. And that is a cozy, clean fantasy that I really enjoyed it. What was the first book? Wormwood Abbey. Sorry, where did secrets come from? Because there are secrets in it. That's fine. But that was Wormwood Abbey, and I really enjoyed that one. It was kind of my first official cozy fantasy, and I really liked the elements of it, and book 2 is releasing on the 14th. So I want to check that out as well. The first book for January is releasing on the 9th, and that is Double Take by Lynette Eason. This is a new book in her new series. It's the start of a new series called Lake City Heroes. And all I really have to know is it's by Lynette Eason, and I'm going to read it because she's a kind of a guaranteed suspense author for me that I'm going to always try out her books. This, though, has to do with an attempted murder, of course, and our main girl is on the run from someone she's pretty sure she's shot and killed, but is still seen. And, you know, it's Lynette Eason, it's suspense. I like a good suspense book. I'm looking forward to this one. What's also cool about that one is the second book will be releasing in August, so that's cool to get 2 books in the same series right off the bat in the same year. I like that. You don't have to wait long. I approve. Releasing on January 10th, I believe it was pushed out. I think it was supposed to come out in December, but now it's been pushed to January 10th, at least according to Amazon, and that's Trust the Stars by Tricia Goyer. I believe this is a dual time period novel from contemporary and then World War II, and I'm not big into dual time period ones, but I'm really intrigued because the contemporary setting of this, the main guy is a prince. Sold right there. The main girl is Olivia, though, and she has been doing a kind of online documentary series about different things connecting her to her mom, and she's never revealed herself, but she said she'll reveal herself on the last final video. And so only people have ever heard her voice, and the prince recognizes her or by her voice when he meets her. That just sounds adorable. I'm already here for it. Let's see, there's something else with World War II. It has to do with the Jewish children and a princess. I'll read that part, but I'm way more interested in the contemporary setting of him recognizing her by her voice. That sounds adorable. I'm excited. I'm gonna give it a try.
Hi, Editing Lindsay. I'm popping in and out here, but I did want to say this book actually did release on December 12th, not January 12th. When I filmed this video and got my list together, Amazon must have been glitching or something because I'm positive it said January 12th. So no, it's already out and I requested my library to buy it. So, good times.
Releasing on January 16th is The Divine Proverb of Streusel. Streusel. Can I say that word? I don't know. By Sara Brunsvold. This is the author that wrote The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kemp. And that was a book that took the Christian fiction community by storm this past year. I really enjoyed it. It was a tearjerker, to say the least. But this one, I obviously want to read it because I enjoyed her other book and that there was no romance in it. I assume this one probably won't have any romance either, which makes me excited to see non-romance books being published in Christian fiction, number one. So the main girl, though, her parents have recently gotten divorced and her boyfriend are on kind of rocky territory, and so she goes and hangs out with her uncle's farm, but she stumbles upon a cookbook from her late grandmother, and it's a lot of her German heritage recipes. And I don't know, it just sounds like it's going to be a really sweet read. I'm not really a big fan of novels that are surrounding cooking, but I thought I would give this one a try since I enjoyed the author's prior book, and also being part German myself, I feel like I'll recognize quite a few of the recipes, even though I'm not like overly familiar with my German heritage. Let's see, British, Norwegian, Hungarian, and German is what I know, but I've never done the DNA test, so regardless, I thought it would be interesting to read, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Releasing on January 30th. I had a lot of January books. Who would have thunk it? But this book was one I randomly happened upon NetGalley, and I saw it was supposed to be Christian fiction, so I'm going to try it out, and I'm really excited about it. And it's a young adult one, and our main girl is Eva, which I know a girl named Eva, and I love her dearly, so I love seeing the name Eva in a book. But she is 14, and she unexpectedly finds that she's going to spend her summer at the mysterious manor house of the English grandmother she's never met, and soon discovers that her family, the manor staff, and even the house itself are all hiding secrets. Okay, it's Christian YA. I'm going to read it regardless, but then you say there's secrets? Ooh, I'm here. Okay, let's go for it. And then she finds out there might be royalty in the family and another world and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited. It's a pretty cover. I'm very curious what the spine is going to look like. I feel like the spine will be that green. I'm really curious. Like, that's such a weird thing to be curious about. Like, obviously I'm curious about the inside of the book, especially if there's like a royalty fantasy element. I'm very intrigued, but I'm also really curious about what the spine is going to look like. For February's releases, I have a few books, and one of them is releasing on the 13th, and that's Lady of Disguise by Melanie Dickerson. This is book 6 in her new Daracot Tales series. I keep saying new. It's really not new. I think it started in 21, 22 maybe. So not really new, but I'm looking forward to reading this. I honestly can't recall what fairy tale it was. Oh, Jack and the Beanstalk. Oh, that's going to be different. That will be fun. One thing I noticed that I thought was really interesting is that this cover doesn't match the theme of the rest of the covers. So I'm curious, then will like book 7 and on be more like this style? I don't know. I'm curious. Again, little tidbits of things I'm curious about that most people probably haven't even thought of, but that's how my brain works. Rather than dealing with English or German medieval time period, it looks like this one's going to be more with Scotland, which will be different. I don't feel like Melanie Dickerson's done that before with any of her, I almost said Regency, that's not correct, any of her medieval fairy tale books. So I'm curious about this one. She's an automatic read for me. The series hasn't been my very favorite out of her books, but it's been entertaining, so I'm looking forward to trying that one out. Also releasing on February 13th is While the City Sleeps by Elizabeth Camden. This cover, the colors in this cover, oh, so pretty. This one though, I'm a little hesitant about just because it has to do with dentistry in the early 1900s, which I love the early 1900s. Dentists, yeah, no, that ain't my thing. I'm not a fan of the dentist at all. So I'm like, will this be interesting to me in the dentist side? Because I always read her books just because of the historical context, and she just finds the most interesting pieces of history that I've never thought about, but I instantly become very intrigued in it. and I've liked a lot of her books. Some I still own, some I decided not to keep for different reasons, but I always try out her new books as they release. So I'm going to try this one out. Apparently though, like a patient gets put under laughing gas and then a deadly plot to assassinate someone or something like that gets revealed when they're under the effects of laughing gas in 1913. I don't know. I'm here for it. I'll try it out. The dentist part's a little to me, but I'm going to give it a try. Another one that is releasing on February 13th is The Irish Matchmaker by Jennifer Deibel. Deibel? I don't remember how to pronounce this author's name. I read her, was it 2023 release? Or was it 22? This year has been insane. I don't remember. Oh, it has been okay, so I read her 2023 release, The Maid of Ballymaccool. However you pronounce that. I'm pronouncing it that way. And it was a Cinderella retelling set in the 1930s. I believe this new book is also set in that time period. And I'm curious about it because matchmaking. Yes, please. I love a good matchmaking story. That's all I really need to know. I'm going to give it a try. The cover's pretty. We're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but we all do it anyway, so oh well.
Editing Lindsey here again. On February 22nd is a new contemporary Christian YA. That is my genre, as we all know. I am so excited about this book. It's a little ridiculous. Like, I don't know this author. I haven't read anything by her before, but I am so excited about it. And it's called Hey Jude, Carpenter, and it's by Storm Stultz. And honestly, I don't really need to know anything outside of those genres. I've heard a lot of good things about this author, and it just sounds really interesting and really cute. Sounds like it's kind of going to be slice to life, Romeo and Juliet, but set on a dairy farm kind of thing. I don't really know. Don't really need to know. Contemporary Christian YA, I'm here for it.
Releasing on February 27th is one of my chance books. Like, I have high hopes, and this cover is beautiful, but I don't know. I've never read anything by this author, but it sounds interesting, and that's A Lady's Guide to Marvels and Misadventure by Angela Bell. It's a chance book because I've never read anything by this author, but it sounds like it's going to be a really good time. It's set in 1860, and our main girl's ex-fiance starts sharing the rumor that they're crazy. Like, they're insane. They need to belong in an asylum, and she's like, we may be different and unique, but we're not crazy. But then her grandfather hires an apprentice with a mechanical leg, and all pretense of normalcy takes wing. So I don't know, it sounds like it's going to be humorous, and it sounds fun, and like, you know, adventures. The cover is great. I'm going to give it a try. I don't know, but I'm going to give it a try. It sounds interesting. For March, I have 3 books to talk about, and the first one is releasing on the 12th, and that is Never Fall Again by Lynn H. Blackburn. I wasn't necessarily the most interested in this book, just based off of the description where it has to do with our main girl spending the last 3 years rebuilding her life at a exclusive resort in North Carolina. So I was like, oh, I don't know, but I've read kind of a sneak peek of this book in the final book of the author's other series. I can picture the cover, I'll put it here, and that made me a lot more intrigued. It was kind of like a connection of those characters visiting this area, and like kind of hints and rumors that things aren't exactly what this tourist town thinks they really are. So I don't know. I was going to give it a try, see what I think. It's the beginning of a new suspense series. Might as well. Releasing on March 19th is Just for the Summer by Melody Carlson. And I gotta admit, I kind of squeed when I saw this because this feels like a classic Melody Carlson book. It's 2 girls who live very different lives. One is at a popular boutique hotel in Seattle, and then the other girl manages her grandfather's fishing lodge in Idaho because it was the only job she could find after graduating with her hospitality degree. The solution to their problems? They switch lives, and then that also ends up they start switching love interests, and I'm super curious about that. This just feels Melody Carlson. Like, she was kind of my main author when I got into Christian fiction, so this just feels like a book she would write. The cover's cute. Again, I'm not supposed to be judging books by the cover, but if the cover's pretty, it doesn't hurt, right? So I don't know, I'm just really curious about this book because it just feels like something I would have read when I was like 13, 14 in the introduction of my Christian fiction through Melody Carlson. It almost feels like she's going back to her roots. But it's contemporary adult, not contemporary YA. But regardless, I'm intrigued. The final book for March is releasing on the 31st, and that is The Sleuth of Blackfriars Lane by Michelle Grippe. Grippe? I don't know how to pronounce this author's name. I need to look up or ask the author how to pronounce her name. But this is book 3 in the series about Blackfriars Lane. And the first book I really enjoyed. That was The Thief of Blackfriars Lane. Book 2 was The Bride of Blackfriars Lane, which I didn't enjoy as much. So I'm a little concerned about this third book. But I hope I like it. I hope it kind of redeems the series because, again, I liked the first book. The second one I wasn't the biggest fan of because the main couple were arguing a lot and just there was different elements of that. So this one, they're now married and according to the cover, they have a child. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope I like it. I'm picky on my books that have married couples because that typically adds in sexual content and I don't really want to read that, so we'll see. We'll see. For April, I have a few books and they're actually all releasing within the first 9 days of April, which is so funny. I feel like I have so many books on this list that they're releasing on the same day. It's wild. I don't know. There's lots of Tuesdays in a month, but we picked a lot of the same days. That's fine. So April 2nd, I have Operation Happy by Jenny L. Watch. This is a new Christian middle grade book for ages 8 to 12. I'm always interested in Christian middle grade. I assume there's going to be Christian content. It's set during World War II. And I'm excited, but the back cover makes me a little nervous. Like, the dog better not die, y'all. The dog better not die. But our main girl is in a military family, and they have moved yet again, this time to Pearl Harbor in 1940. I know what's going to happen, so I'm a little concerned, but they have to evacuate and they go to San Francisco and like different things happen. I don't really know, but it's a Christian middle grade. I assume there's going to be lots of good lessons. I just hope the dog doesn't die. It's an adorable cover. The dog better not die. I'm going to be bawling if the dog dies. Releasing on April 9th is The Songbird of Hope Hill by Campbell. Goyer. I've read many books by this author and enjoyed a lot of them. This is about a young woman, and I don't know exactly, it's definitely historical, but based off the plantation style house, I'm not quite sure what time period historical. Not quite sure on that, but it's about a young woman who sings of God's love even if she doesn't believe he can forgive her. And so she's been driven by survival to a life at a house of ill repute. Is that how you say that word? I don't even know. Bertie Clarkson now longs only for escape. So when a reverend and his son appear and offer a better life, she jumps in the wagon and things happen. So I'm curious about this one. I'm a little concerned on the subject matter, but I know the author will have a ton of faith content, which is what I really like in her books, so I'm going to give it a try. Also releasing on April 9th is The Elusive Truth of Lily Temple by Joanna Davidson Politano. Look at this cover. It's so pretty. Set in 1903, the time period I love, the main guy is an investigator and our main girl is Lily Temple, and she is a silent film actress, which I feel like that's going to be very fascinating to read about. And there's apparently a sapphire that they're trying to find, and I don't really want to know too much about it because I know if I read the full back cover, I'm going to want to read it now, and I have to wait till April. So I'm not going to tease myself and torment myself, but it looks very interesting. I've enjoyed quite a few of her books before. Her last release wasn't my personal favorite because I found it a little too creepy personally, but I know I'm definitely in the minority. I have a lot of friends who really enjoyed that book, but I'm looking forward to this one. Okay, this next book is potentially one of my top books for this first half. Most of my anticipated releases for 24 are in the last half of the year. Like, I can think of 3 I'm really looking forward to at the end of the year, but for this first half of the year, I am really looking forward to this book, and as of filming this, it's not on Goodreads or Amazon yet, but hopefully by the time I post this video, it will be, so I can link it for y'all. But that is Protector by Megan Scallis, maybe is how you pronounce the author's last name. I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. This is a Christian YA dystopian. We know I love that genre. That's actually also a retelling of Esther. Okay, I'm sold. That's all I needed. Honestly, all I had to be told was Christian YA dystopian, and I'm here. I'm here. And now that it's got a retelling of Esther kind of story, I thought I'd give it a try. I'm a little picky with my Esther retellings, but I'm going to definitely give it a try. Christian dystopian, sign me up. I love how the the tagline, if you will, on the back cover says, "If you can't be invisible, be unremarkable." And our main girl apparently has an overprotective brother, and I love that trope. So I'm looking forward to this one. I really am. I have heard basically no one talk about it. I saw a little bit about it on Instagram, so I really hope I like this one so I can just shout about it from the rooftops. For May, I have 2 books, and the first book is releasing on May 7th, and that is Chromatic by Ashley Bustamante. Chromatic? I think that's how you pronounce that word. This is the final book in the Color Theory series. I believe this is the final book. I think it's a trilogy. I'm saying that. I think that's correct. This is a clean fantasy series that has to do with color magic, and I enjoyed the first 2 books. I buddy read them, and I think that helped a lot. But it was really entertaining and fun, and this is, I believe, the final book, so obviously I want to read it.
And Editing Lindsey's back once again, that I have another contemporary Christian YA. I love my contemporary Christian YA, y'all, and I'm so excited about this one. This is Because of You by Hannah Curry, and it's releasing May 15th, I believe, is what the publisher website says, so I'm going with that. And it is about an Australian girl who goes on a mission trip to Thailand. That sounds just like it's going to be, like, so interesting, so fascinating. I'm super duper excited for that. It sounds really neat. I don't know, like, it feels like it's going to tug on my heartstrings, but I'm always good with that, and I love seeing books that represent the mission field, especially seeing like a YA girl do that. I think I've read a couple books like that before that go on a mission trip, and I love that, having gone on a student trip myself. So definitely looking forward to this one.
And then my last book for this video is releasing on May 21st, and that is With Each Tomorrow by Tracy Peterson and Kimberly Woodhouse. This cover. I gasped when I saw this cover, because book 1's cover is beautiful, and I love that purple jewel tone, but this blue, be still my heart, this is beautiful. The team that designed this outdid themselves. I just find myself staring at this. It is just beautiful. This series has been set in Montana, and the first book I really liked. I thought it was a very sweet historical book and had a little bit of a murder mystery involved, so I enjoyed that one. This one, while the back cover doesn't sound as intriguing to me, the main girl, it works with her conservationist father and travels a lot. They are going west to advocate for public land, so I think it's going to have a lot of nature descriptions, which I'm totally good with. And then we have the main guy faces trials of his own when a railway's departure threatens his family's livelihood in the entire town that this is set in Montana. So maybe not like a lot of my buzzwords, but I definitely want to try it out because I really liked the first book and the faith content was really good. This cover is beautiful. So I'm going to give it a try and see what I think. It's a gorgeous cover. Gorgeous cover. Like, I'm typically really happy with most covers, but these 2 are beautiful. Just beautiful. And now for June. I am filming this a little earlier than I typically would, but I don't have any June books. That's so weird. If I have come across any June books by the time I edit this video, Editing Lindsey will pop in now. So yeah, I have no June anticipated releases, which is kind of a bummer. But, you know, I have quite a few other ones. That was how many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Oh, wow, that was 17 books. Wow, that was way more than I thought. These have really high potential for me. I'm excited for a lot of them. I've been trying to pay better attention to books that are releasing on the Christian independently published, indie printed books. But typically those get shared like a month or 2 before they release. So it's a little hard to share about those in this video if they aren't releasing at the first part of the year or whatever. So we'll see. I may end up doing a kind of mini video like this maybe mid-year and talk about some other ones that have caught my attention. But so far, these are the ones I'm anticipating. I'd love to discuss any or all of these books in the comments below. Let's chat. Let's get our excitement up. Have you pre-ordered any books? I have pre-ordered 1 book, but that is for the later half of the year. I have to wait. Boo. I am really excited. There's quite a few books for the last half of 2024 that I'm really, really excited for, but this list is a pretty good list too. I think I'm going to have pretty good success with these 17 books. But yes, though, please do let me know if you're anticipating any of these, if there's any other ones you're anticipating. If you know of any Christian YA books releasing, please let me know. I would love, love, love to know. I would love to put the Keepers of the Lost City book 10 on this list, but I don't think we're going to see it before November. It really sounds like it's probably going to be November of 24, so there we go. I'm just going to have to wait for that, like everyone else. It's always fun for me to come up with this list of anticipated releases. It's always been a very selective list, but I feel like I've gotten even more selective as the years have gone by, which, you know, maybe not because there's 17 books on here, but I feel like I have a couple chance books, which I always try to have a couple chance books just to see, you know, 50-50 shot. I might like them, I might not, but I gave them a try and it counts towards my reading goal. So that's the important thing right there. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I do really love chatting with y'all about anticipated releases, so please let me know if any of these caught your eye. Which cover was your favorite? I already know my answer, but there's some really pretty covers, and it's always fun to see the new covers being released for the next year. It just adds to that excitement and anticipation. Thank you so much for watching. I am Lindsey from the blog booksforchristiangirls.blogspot.com, where there is a new review every Monday and Friday. I've been trying to post a new video on this channel every Friday. I've been doing pretty good at it. I'm very proud of myself. Just gonna pat myself on the back, that's fine. But then I'm also on Instagram and Goodreads and TikTok and all those many places, and I would love to see y'all here, there, and everywhere. Thank you so much again, and I hope you have an absolutely lovely rest of your day.